illustrators, and today it's Claire Birkby, co-founder of HandmadeHour. Now, if you've never heard of this before, this is a campaign, an interactive feature on Twitter on Wednesday and Sunday evenings, bringing together artists and makers, small businesses and customers wanting to buy from and support small biz. Oh, I'm so happy, Claire, to have you on the show.
Well, it's brilliant to be here. Thank you so much for inviting us.
It's such a creative initiative. How did you conjure up this idea to launch HandmadeHour on Twitter?
It feels like a lifetime ago now. I started my own little crafty business when I was on maternity leave. I had a brilliant sleeping baby, so I started making things and accidentally turned it into a business. And when it started sort of really taking off, I moved on to social media. And then I found there was a real lack of, back then, a real lack of support and ways to help businesses like me get in touch with customers other than me physically, telling all my friends and inviting my friends. There wasn't really that platform to coordinate that, really. And there were a few sort of groups and pages where you could share your work, but it was very much, it was kind of haphazard free-for-all, and there was no structure to it. So, of course, one day I'm whinging to my husband, saying, how do I get seen? How do I get all this seen? And he says, we need to start a handmade revolution. And we kind of went, oh, we like the sound of that. And then we started that as a small group. And then it kind of went on from there, really. And this is back in 2013. And it's grown. Wow. It's grown in a crazy way. And I remember the first... you mentioned that he's on Twitter. The first session that he did on Twitter was literally sat on the sofa in his pajamas, and he says, "Oh my God, 100,000 people have seen this."
Wow! But these are huge figures. I mean, you have got a huge follower base now. Yes. 65,000 followers. People that are interactive, and they want to hear from you. They want to know what you're promoting and see who are interacting with you. I mean,
I think they don't want to see us. They want to see who we're working with. They want to see the guys that we're promoting. And, we've got 65,000 on Twitter. We've got 50,000 on Instagram now as well. And we've only been on Instagram about 5 or 6 months. So the market is there. The guys are out there, especially with COVID. It has been awful, and it really has been a horrible situation for so many people. But the flip side of that is we've really done I keep seeing Ross from Friends pivot. people have really learned what they can actually do and what they are actually capable of.
It is, isn't it? All about this year diversifying and seeing what you can who you can reach and what you can build on and what you can grow and do.
Yeah, exactly. It's been amazing. It really has.
I mean, to have 50,000 followers on Instagram and 65,000 followers on Twitter is a huge achievement. You should feel so proud. And what is great as well, it's not just, people sort of hard selling or promoting their wares. No. There's a really lovely conversation that happens on these evenings, Wednesday and Sunday nights. People talking and interacting, checking in on each other and kind of getting to know one another.
It is. It's lovely. And I think one of the important things that we've learned is people tend to, obviously money is hard-earned and hard spent. You don't want to just give your money to anybody. And I think that's why a lot of people go to the high street, because, the big companies have got that presence, and if something goes wrong, you just go back to the shop. It's really, really important for us to build up the credibility of small businesses. There are some horror stories there are people who will just take your money, but there are so many genuine small businesses who work so hard, and you're not just lining the pockets of some massive CEO and sending them off on cruises every year. You are literally putting food on people's tables when you shop with a small business. And for us to build that credibility for those businesses, it makes me really emotional. I can feel myself sort of welling up talking about it, but for us to be able to help people build that trust with clients, to be able to put money on the table, send the daughters to ballet class, send the sons to football lessons, everything like that. And for us to help people get that trust, because people buy from people they know, like, and trust. And you have to have the personality. And we feel that we can give a platform for people to be themselves and for people to make themselves known.
Oh, and it's so refreshing because, there's all sorts of Twitter and Instagram influencers now, with big audiences. They're great and they're entertaining and it's all about them and it's a fascinating insight into their lives. But what I love is that you share your platform, your audience with people that need it, like you say, with artists and makers that are just starting out in a lot of cases.
Exactly,
and you're enabling them to reach a huge audience. I mean, if we try and picture 65,000 people in a field or an auditorium, this is one hell of a stage, and you're giving that to little artists and makers.
Yeah, the Twitter sessions on a Sunday and a Wednesday, they often get between 80 and 100 million impressions just in that one session.
Wow.
So you're not just reaching 70,000 people, you're reaching their followers as well. So it really is a massive spider web. It's fantastic.
And then it just people just retweet and share and it moves all over the place. And I love
it doesn't just happen.
I love it this time of year as well because it's Christmas. Everyone's looking for something a bit different, a bit special, which is great. Exactly. Then to give a platform to makers making things that are totally different and totally one-off. Yeah. But also during the pandemic, you're giving artists a lifeline, a chance to make some money out of their passion. And so many little shops have been closed and markets haven't been able to happen. And huge fetes and fairs. Some of my favourites in Kent aren't going ahead because of the way they can't engineer it. So you're giving the chance through your Instagram market and fair right now, the chance for people to get that experience.
Exactly. That's why we felt it was important to host some virtual fairs, and we've just finishing their second of Christmas fairs. And they booked up within days. It was incredible. We've opened the books for next year now because the amount of people who can't go to those physical fairs, and they're very nervous about even booking for next year as well. We don't know what's going to happen, but the internet is always going to be there, touch wood. And for us to be able to put those people in front of such a huge audience when that audience could have been completely lost, it's so important for us. And like you say, it's all personalised. There's a lot of things that are obviously just buy now off the shelf, but so many of the artists will take commissions and put, personalised notes on there. We've got a daughter called Hermione. Trying to find something for Hermione in the shop is nigh on impossible. So, being able to put those special little personalised elements on your purchases is really, really special. So you'll see people who say this is for sale, but please do get in touch with them, follow them, see what they do, because they will very, very likely take a personalised commission from you as well.
There's something amazing as well about buying something totally one-off that you couldn't get anywhere else, and there's only one of in the world.
Yeah, this is it. And just to know that it's just been made just for you, and you've put your money with somebody who has really earned it, it's a really special thing, I think, buying handmade.
What have you noticed about this year in terms of interest towards supporting makers and artists? Has there been a boom?
It's been incredible. We were quite nervous at first when it all started. Obviously, we are an online platform, so in terms of our position, we were quite secure. But we were so worried for all these people who rely on a physical shop or physical markets every week. But we really have, I said earlier, people really have done a pivot and really, really taken on board a lot of the advice. We're not just a platform, we try to be a resource as well. And teaching people how they can use a social media account really for an incredible benefit. And they might just have had it purely for credibility, just to say, I've got a Facebook account, but to see them growing those accounts and using them, and not just to post, not just to be salesy, to really show people what can be done. And it's been really, really inspiring. And I know a lot of people, we've done a few lives during these fairs, and so many people have said, well, I started in February when I went on furlough. And just when they say that, and then you look at what they've been able to produce in 6 months, you think, oh my God, their talent is incredible, and people have really started to harness that, and I think it's amazing, absolutely amazing what people can do behind closed doors.
Oh, and you are showcasing talent, aren't you? I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. I know for me it's a real refreshing break from seeing the same sort of blog posts and post selfies to see these beautiful creations. It really is a breath of fresh air in a very popular market in Instagram. It's a clogged up feed, isn't it?
Well, this is it. And when you mentioned about influencers, yes, they're on there, and yes, they're brilliant, but they're probably advertising things from the massive high street places. not so much from the the smaller boutiques and the handmade businesses. So to be able to have a few of those pop up in your newsfeed, it's lovely.
Can you give us, you say you're a resource, can you give us one of your top tips of getting noticed on social media, particularly during Handmade Hour when everyone is sort of showing their wares? What will make you stand out?
Be yourself, be genuine, and show us who you are. As I said, people buy from people they know, like, and trust, and that's so important. If I'm going to give you 50 of my very hard-earned pounds, I want to know who I'm giving it to. So really do make sure, don't hide your personality. We need to see these creative personalities, and that's what's going to make you stand out.
Oh, it's been so inspiring chatting to you, Claire, and getting an insight into your backstory. For those listening who have never heard of Handmade Hour on Instagram or Twitter before, where can they find you and how can they get involved?
On Instagram, we are handmade_hour, and Twitter, we are @handmadehour with no underscore in there. The Twitter sessions, our handmade hours are Sundays evenings between 8 and 9, so you can pop into that tonight. Use the hashtag handmadehour, and you will be seen, if not by us for a retweet, you'll be seen by millions of other people for retweets. Also Wednesdays between 7:30 and 9:30 as well on an evening.
And if you haven't got social media, you need to get it now.
If you haven't got social media, where have you been? You need to get social media. Everybody needs to get it. There are some amazing people out there, and
Set
they all
up
need to be seen.
an account right this minute and join in if you're an artist, a maker, designer.
Christmas shopping. Yes,
exactly. Just for your Christmas shopping. Thank you so much, Claire. Claire Birkby, co-founder of Handmade Hour on Twitter and Instagram. More Small Biz Sunday next weekend.